Dear brothers and sisters in the faith, today, I would like to talk to you about the 7 deadly sins. These sins are pride, envy, wrath, sloth, greed, gluttony, and lust. They are called deadly because they can lead us away from God and towards spiritual death. Pride is an excessive belief in one's own abilities or importance. It can lead us to think that we are better than others and that we do not need God. The Bible warns us against pride and tells us to humble ourselves before God. As it says in Proverbs chapter 16 verse 18, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." Envy is a feeling of discontent or resentment towards someone else's possessions or achievements. It can lead us to want what others have and to be unhappy with what we have. The Bible tells us to be content with what we have and to rejoice with others when they are blessed. As it says in Philippians chapter 4 verses 11 to 12, "I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation." Wrath is intense anger or rage towards someone or something. It can lead us to act out in harmful ways towards others. The Bible tells us to be slow to anger and to seek peace with others. As it says in James chapter 1 verses 19 to 20, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires." Sloth is laziness or idleness. It can lead us to neglect our duties and responsibilities towards God and others. The Bible tells us to be diligent in our work and to serve God with all our hearts. As it says in Colossians chapter 3 verses 23 to 24, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward." Greed is an excessive desire for wealth or material possessions. It can lead us to be selfish and neglect the needs of others. The Bible tells us to be content with what we have and to share with those in need. As it says in Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5, "Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, 'Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you.'" Gluttony is overindulgence or overconsumption of food, drink, or wealth. It can lead us to neglect our health and the needs of others. The Bible tells us to practice self-control and to be good stewards of our bodies. As it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 19 to 20, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies." Lust is intense or uncontrolled desire, particularly for sexual pleasure. It can lead us away from God's plan for our lives and towards sin. The Bible tells us to flee from sexual immorality and to seek purity in our thoughts and actions. As it says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 3 to 5, "It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable." Brothers and sisters, let us be mindful of these 7 deadly sins and strive to overcome them through the power of the Holy Spirit. Let us seek God's grace and mercy as we strive to live lives that are pleasing to Him. Amen.